is Shelly live in studio with the cast of the new Footloose remake. I am so excited, you guys. How are you?
We're awesome.
Great.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so excited you're here. Julianne Hough, of course, stars as Ariel. Then we have Kenny Wormald as Ren, and director Craig Brewer. How are you?
Very good, very good. Glad to be here.
So I have to tell you guys, I love this movie.
Thank you.
You know, I saw the original, and I have to admit, I think I liked it a little bit better, this one.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
That means
That's
a
amazing.
lot.
I did. And I like some of the decisions that I think were made and ways that you kind of updated it. And what was that like, and what was that process like to try and sort of look at the original and then do a new version for today?
Well, I think first of all, it's pretty daunting.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty scary because I think I'm like a lot of America, and I think the cast. I think Kenny and Julianne are a lot of like people in America. We're very protective of Footloose.
Sure.
It was a special movie to a lot of people, but I think the thing that we're realizing is that we figured out a way to make it relevant to today, and I think it's surprising a lot of people actually how much the story works in today's climate. You know, I live in Memphis, Tennessee. I live in the South, and there's kind of this rise of the red state, blue state divide again that's happening in the country. And oddly enough, like a city boy from Boston coming down and being best friends with a kid from the South kind of represents at least my hope, you know, that we could, you know, stop overreacting, stop fighting, and kind of come at each other respectfully and go to the dance, so to speak, you know.
Yeah, sure. And had you guys seen the film before being a part of this one?
Absolutely, yeah. We both are dancers, so like that was like a cult classic for us. You know what I mean? Like we, that was like one of the movies we watched over and over again. But yeah, absolutely.
Was it daunting for you guys too, as actors, to find out, oh my gosh, I'm a part of this movie?
Yeah, well, the thing was, I auditioned for it a few times and got the call that I booked it, and I was so excited and so pumped, and then I was like, oh, now I have to do Footloose. So, as a huge fan of the original, there was definitely some pressure, but, you know, having a great director and a great co-star and a great script, and I think we did it well, and I think we're all happy about it. We're very proud.
Absolutely, and I feel like too, like we, like what they were saying, like I think we found the balance of like giving the people that were such big fans from the original back in the day everything that they loved, and then obviously and more for the generation now, and like it was such a big movie for that generation then, and I really think it can be one for this generation.
And Kenny, I have to say too, I know for a while there were rumors that Chase Crawford, maybe Zac Efron were going to be a part of it, and then you got the part. That must be such an honor.
Yeah, I remember hearing that
Yeah.
they were doing it, and I was jealous, actually, as a dancer and a fan of the original. So to get the opportunity myself was an amazing opportunity. And, you know, they were on board when it was a musical, and then it kind of shifted gears, and Paramount chose Craig Brewer to do it, and he wanted to make it true to the original and not be a musical where we're singing and dancing, but more of a drama with dance. So
I found that, like, you know, to some extent, if you went back in a time machine to 1984 when I saw Footloose, and if you asked me, what do you think of Kevin Bacon, I would be like, who? Because that was the joy about Footloose. It's like the audience was discovering a brand new cast: Sarah Jessica Parker and Chris Penn, Laurie Singer. And to some extent, I think that's what Footloose, if it's done correctly, can afford a new generation of actors, is that it may launch new, fresh stars. And that's part of the allure of Footloose, is to have that discovery, an audience discovering people.
And Craig, I think it's so interesting because you've worked on some other films, Black Snake Moan, also Hustle and Flow. How'd you get involved with Footloose, this dancing movie that's so happy-go-lucky?
Well, luckily the studio knew that I was a huge Footloose fan. As a matter of fact, I call myself a Footlooseologist. I really study everything.
I like that, okay.
Well, and I've met some other Footlooseologists, but I really study it. Like, as a matter of fact, when I was a kid, I figured out a way that I could actually make an audio cassette recording of the entire Footloose movie. So when I walked to school, I would be listening to the movie with dialogue, with songs, and everything in my headphones, so I could actually quote the movie for you verbatim.
Wow!
But when they called me, I think that their concern was that they wanted to make sure that a new Footloose was just as relevant as it was back then, and that meant, you know, being a little bit daring with teenagers. I think people forget that Footloose kind of had a hard edge to it back in the day. We always think that it's cheesy, like has big hair and tight jeans and all that kind of stuff, but really, you know, it was kind of intense in places, and we wanted to keep that because I think that if you kind of dumb down for teenagers, they smell it these days, and I think that young teens and grown-ups, that, you know, the parents who saw the original, they come to it and they're like, wow, I can't believe they did that argument in the church between Reverend Moore and his daughter. You know, it was shocking back in '84, and they're doing it again. And, you know, people enjoy it.
And Kenny, let me ask you, this is sort of your first big film, right? Starring role, of course.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know a little bit more about you. Is it true you first started dance when you watched a New Kids on the Block video?
I went to their concert, actually.
Went to their concert?
When I was
okay.
6. It was my 6th birthday, and I'm from Boston, and that's where they're from. So, yeah, I came home, and I was dancing and mimicking their moves, jumping on the coffee table, being ridiculous little kid. So my parents threw me in a dance class.
And so then you continued taking classes, and you've worked with some really incredible people. Who have you worked with?
Justin Timberlake, Chris Brown, Madonna, Mariah, a few people. I got to dance and you know, make money doing something I love. So I thought that was like the ultimate thing. So now to kind of transition into acting and get to be a part of a film that I'm so proud of is unbelievable.
So you worked with a bunch of nobodies, basically.
Yeah, no names. They're independent artists.
Sure, yeah.
You can find them
Up-and-coming.
online, maybe download their music.
Yeah.
Mixtapes or something.
I love to. I can hear sort of your little Boston accent. A little bit.
It sneaks out here and there.
So were you intimidated at all once you got this role? I know you'd mentioned before, but I mean, going into it the first day on set was...
Yeah, just not wanting to mess up because I love the original so much. But like we've been kind of saying, it didn't feel like we were remaking anything. It felt like we were truly doing our own film for the first time and going through these experiences, not as mimicking the original, but kind of revisiting some of the emotions you get from the original. But yeah, you know, it was the best experience of my life, so.
I bet. Yeah. And Julianne, I found out too, I didn't know this, but you were in the first Harry Potter film.
I was.
What?
I was an extra.
I guess I
was
realized.
Gryffindor.
No way.
I stole a scarf to prove it.
Oh,
Yes.
you just went
You
up.
gotta start
the
somewhere.
Respect in my household just went up. My daughter's gonna freak out.
In fact, on Valentine's Day when we were shooting, I had a huge crush on Daniel Radcliffe, and I got a Beanie Baby bear. It was like called Valentino, and I wrote him a love letter, and I don't know if he ever got it.
So you don't know if you ever got it or not?
I don't know if Daniel Radcliffe, Mr. Harry Potter himself, got my love note.
His loss, honey.
Not his loss. I hope he listens to the show. Maybe we can figure it out. He'll call it or something. But, you know, after that, of course, you went on to do Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
You don't anymore, but do you miss it at all?
Of course. I mean, I love the fact that, like, that's such... It's become such a big show because it does something for dancers that, you know, it has not been around forever. So, the fact that that's been, you know, my life and the fans that have followed me from that over to, you know, the new ventures that I'm doing is so... I mean, it's like, I couldn't ask for a better situation. And but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to watching this season, and who knows, you know, maybe we can do a little guest spot or something, or we'll see.
Go Derek. Yeah, what has he said about being partnered with Ricky Lake?
He loves it. His name is like Ridiculake or like
combine their names.
Ridiculous or something. Like it's kind of cool. I love it.
For those who don't know, Derek's your brother.
Yes.
So
I'm sorry.
Show,
Yes. Derek Hough is my bro.
Yeah. So yeah, we're wishing him the best of luck. You know, so now you're a triple threat. Acting, dancing, and of course you have your country music career. What do you like better?
Oh my gosh, I honestly, I get asked this question a lot, and I don't think I could ever choose.
Okay.
I think that they kind of fit together, and each one fulfills something different inside me, and I'd be lost without the others. So, yeah.
And I have to ask, you guys had a couple intimate scenes. Julianne, what did Ryan Seacrest think about this? Did he have anything to say about this?
I mean, obviously, it's always uncomfortable if you're with somebody, but it's what you do.
There's like
it's your
40
work.
people behind the camera watching you
Yeah,
kiss,
so
it's
it's
not
not-
really
it's not
this
like we're, like,
secret,
getting it
intimate
on.
moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
People
Kenny-
barking at him like, you could do that better. Come on, you know.
Yeah. Like,
Leave
hurry
him
up,
alone
guys!
to the
Hurry up!
left.
The sun's setting. Hurry
That's
up! Go,
what
go, go! We
happened.
gotta kiss.
Hurry
Go
up, we're
shoot.
like, wait,
act,
we actually
sit.
wanted to look good, you know.
Because I've heard as a director, it's even awkward to do those scenes because you're sort of talking, no, put your hand here and put your lips there. And
You're gonna have to cover this while you're doing this.
I find the best thing to do is just to kind of be funny with it, just to kind of come up and say, okay, we're gonna be acting foolish today, and then you just kind of treat it like choreography. You're like, okay, you're gonna put her up here on this desk, and you know, it's like, and you just plot it out as if like it's a stunt. You know?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Ryan a good dancer?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, as far as technical or fun, I would say he's fun.
Seacrest, right? The Seacrest.
Yeah.
He's in the fun
He
category.
does his little like thing.
It's a jig.
He kind of looks like my dad when he dances, and that's a good thing.
Okay. Oh, your dad's
My
a
dad
great
is
dancer.
a
I
great,
know, yeah.
fun dancer. So.
No, good. I have to tell you, you know, I think I was on Ellen couple months ago, but you talked about this awesome story where he's like filled your car with roses or something. Gave you
my hotel room, and my car,
room?
yeah. He's very romantic and very thoughtful. I think that's the key to men. Listen up, men.
Okay, take
Being
notes.
thoughtful is like the key, because not having to ask to be felt, to be made special is really great.
Can you have Ryan call my boyfriend and maybe he can help him arrange something nice like that?
Absolutely.
That's great. And I'm sure you've been asked quite a few times. Wedding bells?
Oh my goodness. You know what? No, I think we're really happy where we're at, and that's for future plans.
Sure. So. Would you ever do a big thing like Kim Kardashian, a big wedding like that, or is that something you want to keep more private?
You know what? I haven't really thought about it. I have a huge family, so...
Intimate may be huge for you.
Intimate
you're
may
kind
be
of stuck.
huge. Yeah, I'm stuck either way, so...
So, also, too, I want to just ask you real quick before we leave. Those nude photos came out. They weren't even nude. But, they're the bikini photos that came out. What was your thought when people are hacking into your phone and releasing photos of you? What was that about?
I would just say that, to me, it's just disrespectful whether you're in the business or not. I mean, those are private pictures. But, I mean, who hasn't seen me in less clothing on Dancing with Stars? I mean, to be honest, it's like, who hasn't seen anybody in a bikini or Victoria's Secret models? So it's
no one's hacking my phone, though. all my bikini
There's some
photos,
good stuff
they're
on there,
waiting
though.
there for America to see. I mean, what do I have to do to get them out there?
Right? I know. Maybe take a picture of Julianne, right? But how does that stuff happen? It's just because I know it's happened to a couple celebrities.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what's going on, but...
It's the weirdos out there,
But
yeah, weirdos, right?
Yeah, weirdos that...
Get a job.
Probably are
Get a
sitting
life.
around doing
Or a
nothing,
girlfriend.
so,
Yeah.
Or a girlfriend, right?
A real life.
Finally, in just a couple seconds, why don't you sum up for everybody why they should go out and see Footloose?
As fans of the original, and true like absolute lovers of the original, and I'll tell you one thing really quick. The original writer Dean Pitchford saw it, and if anyone could say why they